Hi guys, this is Melissa Zad for Into Boxing, and I am delighted to be joined by none other than Adam Smith. Adam, how are you doing?
I'm very good. How are you? Excited about Saturday?
Hey, it's been such a long time coming. I cannot wait. You know, the extra 5 weeks have really built up that suspense. How are you feeling about it?
It is, isn't it? It's like we all build up to something, whether it's a sporting event or a family celebration, a wedding, something like that. You think about it, and if it's postponed, you think, oh, real shame about that, and there's a bit of sadness, and everyone sort of, moves away from it. But, oh, wow, we got it 5 weeks later. Not only have we got it 5 weeks later, it's exactly the same. Everyone's back. It's wonderful. It's great that everyone's worked together so diligently on it, whether it's Boxer or Top Rank or Dimitri or Matchroom. Great seeing Frank and Russ here today. Shame Eddie can't be here, but I know he's down under. Great to see everyone working together, and it's been a rough couple of weeks in boxing, and good to see promoters, managers, everyone working towards this, making sure it happened. Hats off to Boxer, especially. I'm going to give a shout out to Baz. Not many people know behind the scenes, but he's brilliant, and he's one of the organisers who gets everything done, and he managed to get the O2 and make it all happen. So well done to him, and well done to everyone for scheduling it, and we're here, we're on it, on a great weekend for boxing all around the globe, but there's no place I'd rather be than at the O2.
As a female in the sport myself, I completely agree with that. But I must say, the comment was raised in the press conference that so much hard work has probably gone into place to get the event exactly in the same format as you say. So, it's, when you really think about it, it's actually quite magnificent.
It's rare. I was trying to think back to events that are postponed, and we've had cancellations over the years, of course. Fighters who haven't made weight or haven't come out of their changing room for one reason or another, or something's gone on with an outside broadcast, or things haven't happened. Weight's not made the day before. There's lots of different problems in boxing, but for this, obviously, a force majeure, the death of our wonderful Queen and everything that brought the nation for 10 days, and that was a really strange time of reflection, and I think that the board made exactly the right decision, as they did last week, with the postponement. It was the right thing. This is a celebration of our brilliant women. This is the culmination of a lot of hard work and putting our fantastic elite female athletes in the spotlight. So I think it was the right decision. But to have everyone back, as I say, hats off to the promoters, managers, trainers, but to the fighters themselves. They so wanted this to happen. Michaela was so excited. Alicia was so excited. Clarissa has been waiting for this moment since I met her. Savannah, I never thought when I was with her 6, 7, 8 years ago, and she was sitting with me and almost crying her eyes out saying, I can't do boxing anymore because I'm broken from it, that we'd be in this position. You have to pinch yourself. It's phenomenal. And I know that Caroline couldn't wait to be back on this bill. Lauren and Karis are fighting together on the same night, which they told me they didn't want to do. It's brilliant. And April, you heard at the press conference, Joe, about Ebony and Georgia and Shannon. It's wonderful. And I know that you fight and that you're a real advocate, obviously, for equality and for women's sport and for all of that. I'm very close to Katie Taylor. She's been a pioneer, and I hope Katie's looking at this for Saturday night and gives herself, which she never does because she's got no ego, she should give herself a little tap on the shoulder and think, I'm one of these people that is, the main person probably that is responsible for what is happening. Jane Couch, Katie Taylor, hats off to both of you.
Do you know what? You've just mentioned so many different trailblazers, really, that are involved in this sport, involved on this card, involved outside of this card. It's such a pivotal moment for women's boxing, for boxing in general, but also for women's boxing. And it's grown so exponentially over the last few years, and I can only imagine it skyrocketing after Saturday night.
Absolutely. Look at Tasha Jonas, who's joined our team. And she joined our team, really, to become a talent, right? To be a commentator, which she's very good at, by the way. Yeah. And she will be there Saturday night in her rightful place next to us, rather than in the ring. She's a con artist, Tasha Jonas, because she told me that she was going to win a world title for Mila, give her the belt, and then join us. But you know what? she's gone again, and she's picked up another belt, and she's going again in Manchester, and she's going to probably become the undisputed champion at a weight that's not even her natural weight. That's Tasha Jonas for you. I just think these stories are fantastic, and there are huge amount of trailblazers. Terry Harper as well, to come back and do what she did the other night. Fantastic. Chantel Cameron's got a huge fight coming up against Jessica McCaskill. It's brilliant, and they're all great fights. I mean, two of my favourite fights, I think, in the last 5 years in boxing period have been the Garden when Terry and Tasha fought, and in Manchester when Katie and Tasha fought, and probably add Katie and Amanda Serrano to it.
I was going to say, yes.
I tell you what, if we get that again on Saturday night, we're in for a treat, aren't we?
I mean, you're absolutely right. You know, it's also the stories behind the fighters that kind of build up their profiles and give us as fans, you know, the encouragement to watch them and really invest in them as fighters. And, you know, Clarissa's story is so inspiring. She's really kind of gone the hard way up and found her way, and then two-time Olympic champion. You know, it's amazing. Savannah's story as well. But let's talk a little bit about kind of the energy between them, because that press conference was absolutely electric. You know, there's so much back and forth. April Hunter's getting involved there. You know, do you feel that beneath it all, there's just this underlying respect and understanding?
Of course there's respect and understanding between the pair of them. I mean, they're elite athletes, and look, Clarissa's had a wasp around her for many years, you know, the one defeat in 78. I mean, what does it really mean? 10 years later, Savannah knows it doesn't really mean anything. Ultimately, it's where they've come to in the last 10 years. They're both exceptional women. They are chalk and cheese in characters. You know, there's the silent assassin and there's the loudmouth American. And yeah, that's great. And that's what makes storytelling and fight build-up so exciting, when you get that wonderful blend. Every time they come together, there's something. Whether it's ringside in Cardiff, the gloves are off, in Newcastle, the first press conference, the second press, you know, however many press conferences we've had, I think you just always put them together and they're going to wind each other up. And it's brilliant how Savannah's now started to take control of it all, when you thought she'd be the one that wouldn't be taking control of it all. So, look, ultimately the talking stops on Saturday night. I think that we'll get a great fight, and I think that we could get a rematch, we could get them dancing again, but I think what we'll definitely get is extreme respect between the pair, and that's what normally we hope to happen after big needle and build-ups in boxing. The one I always look at is Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera, and they're two legends, obviously, of the sport. They hated each other throughout their trilogy. It was a real, genuine hate, a bit like Froch Groves, which eventually we thought, and I think we had a part in that because they both worked for Sky one night. But the Morales-Barrera one went back to a football match when they were kids, and a bad tackle. And anyway, that's a long story. But they hated each other, and for years afterwards they hated each other. And it took their wives and the four of them to go out for a dinner, and now they all get on through their wives. So that's a nice story. I think Clarissa and Savannah will get on much quicker than that. I think there is a respect. I think there's a great respect between Michaela and Alicia. I think Alicia is playing a game here. I think she's trying to get Michaela out of her comfort zone. Let's see. I think it's all part of the excitement and the build-up. What I do think is that all four of them will deliver in the ring.
You know, the co-main event is a fantastic one. It's one that, you know, everyone is talking about. The build-up has a lot to do with that. The two styles coming together in the ring is going to be fascinating. Obviously, Michaela is the come-forward fighter. Alicia is that counter-puncher. The timing, everything with her is all about that timing. How do you think that's going to play out on Saturday night?
I think it could be fight of the night. It's a terrific blend. If you put two fighters together of totally different styles, both at the top of their game, with skills, power, footwork, counter-punching, as you said, technical ability. I see it all, and I think it really could be one of the fights of the year. I cannot wait for that. I can't call it. It's too close. I think both fights are too close to call, and that's just being real. It's not promoting. It's not pushing the event any more than it is. They're just fantastic fights, and I think everyone will say that to you. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Alicia and Savannah, or Alicia and Clarissa, or Michaela and Savannah, or Michaela and Clarissa, or is that every dip? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if anything happens. But these are short fights. there's a lot of the women that I talk to want 3-minute rounds. They're only getting 2-minute rounds. Is that going to benefit one more than the other? That's interesting. Is the jet lag, the delay going to benefit one or the other? I don't know, but they are fantastic matchups, the pair of them.
From your personal opinion, would you want to see women's boxing develop into 3-minute rounds?
Yes. From who I talked to, I think most of them want it. And I think anything with it, we talked about equality and parity and pay and everything. Yes, if we're going to develop boxing in the right way, which I hope we're going forward with two big feet this Saturday night, and people are going to look back at it and say this was a game changer, this was a breakthrough night. I'd love to see it. I want to see 12 3-minute rounds. Why not? They're all more than capable of turning from 10-2s to 12-3s, and I think we've got some of the best fighters in the world. Ben and I were very, very keen at the beginning of our relationship together last year to build the most powerful women's stable in boxing, and I think we've done that. We went after Caroline, we got quickly. Very sensible girl. It took a little bit longer with Clarissa and Lauren. I don't know if you know Clarissa, she's quite feisty. Lauren is, and I've got an enormous soft spot for both of them. Lauren is, they're very sensible. I mean, they did love the Eddie spiel, and I thought we were going to lose them at one point, but fortunately they saw sense and they came to the platform. Lauren had actually kept a business card of mine in her phone, and whenever Eddie was giving her all the great salesman talk as he does, because there's no one better, she kept looking back and thinking, yeah, but Sky. Fortunately we won on that, and Lauren and Karis are very special to me. I think they're going to be an amazing dynamic duo going forward in so many ways. People forget that Lauren Price is probably, after Katie Taylor, the most incredible amateur that's ever lived. She also got over 50 caps for Wales, and she's a pretty mean kickboxer too, who won world titles. So she's a phenomenal athlete. And if you spent time with Karis, she's got more personality than I don't know, most of the others put together. She's absolutely incredible. A gunner in the army. She's got a great story. But I also think Sweet Caroline might just be doing some pretty amazing things in the sport. So look, we're in a good place, and it was very important to get Tasha and Savannah, and you had the likes of Ebony and Georgia and Shannon Ryan, who keeps performing on our shows, and I keep telling Ben, come on, let's push her even further, because I think she's a star in the making as well. So we're in a good place.
Lastly from me, obviously, we heard in the press conference that when Clarissa Shields was growing up, she had Layla Ali to look up to. Caroline speaking about how she was looking up to the people on this card. What do you think this card does for future generations of female boxers, and boxers in general, actually?
Do you know what? My eldest daughter, who's turned 16, I've got 2 girls, and my eldest daughter looked up to Katie Taylor, and she didn't want to be a fighter. She wanted, and still wants, to be in the performing arts world, but it gave her confidence that Katie Taylor did something that she wasn't supposed to do. She was a boy for 2 years, in quotes. She was Kay Taylor to become the fighter that she wanted to. And my eldest daughter looked up to her, and she realised that you can do anything. My youngest daughter knows now you can do anything. And I think that there'll never be that situation again. I think Michaela Mayer looked up to her own role models. Caroline looked up to that generation. Savannah had to look up to what was around her at Hartlepool, which really was all men, all boys. You're never going to have that situation again. There's going to be young girls that come there on Saturday night to watch their heroines, their heroes, and they will be taking centre stage, and they'll know now that they can get in the gyms and they can do, not necessarily boxing, they can do what they want to do. And I think that's really, really powerful. And for having 2 daughters, and for having a very powerful mother and wife and sister, and I think that it's brilliant that we got to that point. As I said, I'll finish by going back to Jane Couch, to Katie Taylor, to Layla Ali, to Christy Martin, to all those trailblazers. It's fantastic. They've put us in this position, and we're lucky enough now to be showing our elite athletes to the world. And I hope they enjoy what we've enjoyed and known for so long.
And that should be the catchphrase for Saturday night. Women, you can do anything.
Correct.
Adam Smith, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
No problem.